Hi everyone, so look what just arrived. Patrick Ta's brand new blush shades. I ordered 3 shades, he released 4, but I ordered 3 new ones to show, to test out for you guys. Here is what they all look like right here. I am so excited. I picked up the shade She Left Me on Red. I have the shade She's Seductive. And I have the shade She Goes to the Gym. So I picked up 3 of these. I'm going to apply these to my cheeks to see how they complement my skin tone. And I love this formula that when he was releasing new shades, I had to pick them up to test out for you guys. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Okay, so starting off, I'm going to start off with the shade She's Seductive. This is what it looks like right here. This is a very everyday type of a tone. Like, I was very drawn to this one. I had to pick it up. And this is what it looks like swatched on the back of my hand. We have the cream on top and the powder on the bottom. And you can tell this shade is so beautiful. I can just tell it's going to be very great for just an everyday wear. And I just love the packaging of Patrick Ta's blushes. Like, they're incredible. So he did have a matching brush that came with this collection, but honestly, I didn't feel like spending like 40 some dollars for a brush. So what I did instead, if you guys are familiar with Primark, they have this 4-in-1 makeup brush, which it looks very similar to the one from Patrick Ta. And this is only $6. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to pick up this brush and we will use that today because it said it's good for cream and powder. So, okay, so I'm going to stick to the way that Patrick likes to apply his blush. So I'm going to start by dipping into the powder. And I know that the powder's like, he always talks about how you should like evenly distribute the product throughout like the entire brush. So that's what I'm going to do right here. And I'm going to tap off. I'm going to put like a rub off a little bit on the back of my hand like he did in his video. And let's start by applying this one to my cheeks. And I already know I'm going to love this because, like I said, his blush formulas are so beautiful. A little bit goes a long way, and already you can tell, like, look at how pretty that is. This is very natural for those of you who want just like a little bit of flush of a color. Like, I love, and I can tell this is going to complement my skin tone very well. Like, look at how pretty that's looking. Like, look at the comparison from this cheek to this cheek. It's just like really does a great job at brightening everything up. So I'm just going to pack on a little bit more of the powder just so you guys will be able to see it better on camera. But this shade is so beautiful. It's like right up my alley. I'm always drawn to more of like a natural type of a tone when it comes to my blush. And this is very beautiful. Like, if you have very, like, it's similar complexion to mine, fair skin, I feel like this is going to work beautifully on fair skin. So next I'm going to dip into the cream with this side right here. So let's just start by dipping into the cream. And I know for a fact that the cream side is always very pigmented. You can tell like it's already picking up a lot of product. So let's just dip into the cream. I will also dab off a little bit onto the back of my hand. And let's just apply this right over the top. And I just love this formula. I just feel like this formula from Patrick Ta, it just feels so luxurious and it just melts everything so beautifully into the skin. Like, look at how beautiful, like, the reflection, the sheen that leaves behind it. I am obsessed with this shade. I feel like it just complements my skin tone perfectly. Like, look at how nice that looks. Like, I love this one. I knew I was going to love this one the moment I saw it online, but it just blends beautifully. And I also like to take a little bit of blush light to apply it sometimes like the high points of my temples right here. But this is the shade She's Seductive. Like, I feel like this is so beautiful. Great for everyday wear. Applied beautifully. Pigmented. Like, I love it because this one is very buildable. So for those of you who are like always afraid of like very overly pigmented blushes, this one is going to be perfect. It's very buildable. Just love the shade. Okay, so the next shade that I picked up is She Goes to the Gym, which actually I did actually go to the gym today, so I can relate to this shade right here. But this is what this one looks like right here. This is very more of like a berry tone to it, I would say. I feel like it's going to be a little, definitely deeper than this one, so that's why I wanted to keep this cheek on so we can do a comparison. And here is a swatch of She Goes to the Gym on the back of my hand. You can tell very similar to the first one, but definitely a lot deeper and has more berry undertones to it. So this one I feel like it's going to be really beautiful. So I'm going to start off once again just by, and I'm using the same brush, but I've just been wiping it off on a dry paper towel. So I'm just going to start off by dipping into the powder, and I can only, yeah, you can tell, you can already tell that this is going to be extremely pigmented. So again, I'm just going to tap up at the excess, and let's start by applying this one to the high points of my cheeks. And I know that this one is going to be way more pigmented. And like I say, I don't usually wear like berry tones when it comes to my blushes, but I just wanted to test this one out. And oh yeah, look at how beautiful. Look at that. You can see the difference already, the pigmentation. This one is definitely a lot more pigmented, but still, like I said, you could still make this work. Like, even if you're kind of afraid of using tones like this, like, I feel like if you just use like a light hand, you can definitely make it work. And this shade is so beautiful as well. But look at the comparison so far. She's Seductive, She Goes to the Gym. This one, like I said, it just definitely has a lot more of like a berry undertone to it, but it's very, very similar to Seductive. But I'm just gonna pack on a little bit more of the powder just so you guys can get a better view of how this looks. But I'm loving this shade as well. It's just beautiful, and they blend out like incredibly. That's another thing I love about his formula. Like, they just blend out so beautifully. But look at how pretty that is. Love it so far. So next I'm gonna dip into the cream, and let me just dip into the cream, like evenly distribute it onto my brush. And here's what it looks like right here. Like, once again, just start by tapping off the excess, and let's apply the cream right over the top. And oh yes, this is super. The cream is very pigmented. Like, whoa, I think I just went a little bit overboard. You know what? Let me just wipe some of this off on the back of my paper towel, because I feel like I just went a little bit crazy with this one. But this is like a good example right here, how a little bit goes a very long way. I did not need that much, but it's okay, because since I am just reviewing this for you guys, like, I'm going to take this makeup off anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But you see though, even though I did apply a little bit too much, these still blend beautifully. So, but this is the shade She Goes to the Gym with the cream on top. Such a beautiful berry tone. Like, I love it. Here's a comparison of the two. I love this shade as well. Like, I feel like this is more for like glam makeup looks. Definitely more of a glam look, but like I said, if you use a light hand, you could definitely just make it work for an everyday wear use. But love these two shades so far. So I'm going to now remove both of these and save the shade that I'm most excited for. Okay, I quickly redid my makeup, and now here is the shade that I'm the most excited about from this whole video. She Left Me on Red, and this is what it looks like right here. You can just tell this is going to be super pigmented. Here's what it looks like on the back of my hand. Like, look at the powder. The powder is extremely pigmented. The cream is a lot lighter. Like, I was expecting it to be as pigmented as the powder, but it's definitely lighter. But this is going to be very pigmented. And you know, what's funny thing is, I never ever experimented with red blush before. I don't really know how I'm going to look in it, but I'm very excited for this. So let's start off by dipping into the powder, which let's just say, like, watch, I'm just gonna like tap in here lightly. Like, let's just do like one drop in here. Look at that. Like, I'll do it a couple times to show you guys. Wow, holy crap. Okay, let's like really like blend this out onto the back of my hand, because I already know it's gonna be like crazy pigmented. So here's what it looks like on the back of my brush. So let's just see how this looks on my skin. And Patrick said that this shade will work on every skin tone, so we shall see. And oh yeah, so far already. And I saw a lot of people online, like, they actually said that this shade wound up looking a lot more pink in person, which I can already kind of see it already turning a little bit pinker on my complexion. If you guys can see, like, look at already. You can just see like it has a little bit like a pinker undertones to it, which I'm not mad at. But I'm going to apply this one to both cheeks since I wiped off my makeup, and I was most excited about this shade. Like, once I saw this online, I'm like, there is no way I'm not going to pick this one up, because like I said, I never experimented with red blush, and I feel like this is just such a unique shade, and one that I definitely do not have in my makeup collection. But it is for sure pulling a lot more pink than red, which I'm actually okay with. But it's looking really beautiful so far. And like I said, like just like with the other two that I've applied so far, I have not had any issues with the blendability of either one of these shades. But it's just, look how beautiful that is. Like, I really love this one. And once again, I feel like I'm just gonna apply a little bit more to make this one look a little bit more dramatic. Like, let's just apply just like to the sides of my temples as well, just for fun. But yeah, I'm loving this one so far. Like, I feel like even though it looks really intimidating, you can definitely make this one work. Like I said, a little bit goes a long way. But so let's dip right into the cream now. Now, this is the part that I'm a little bit afraid of, but like I said, this shade is definitely impressing me. So let's start by just dipping into the cream. And again, I'm just going to tap some off onto the back of my hand, because I already know what's going to happen here. So let's just apply the cream right over the top to intensify and blend things in further. And I will apply this to both sides of my cheek since I have it on both sides. But yeah, I'm loving all of these shades. Like, even this one, I was like afraid of it at first, but as you guys can tell, it's so beautiful. And like I said, I know I applied like way too much, but that's the whole point of making this video. But here is how the blush looks with the powder and topped off with the cream. As you guys can tell, really beautiful. And like I said, even though the shade is scary, it still blends out beautifully. And I'm just really in love with this one. Like, I feel like for those of you who love more dramatic makeup, definitely do yourself a favor and pick this one up, because definitely has impressed me. Okay, now you know what I wanted to do? I wanted to see if I can be able to dim this down a little bit using my sponge that I already had a little bit of foundation on. So let's just see if I'm able to just dim this down with my sponge, because I definitely went way too overboard with this shade, but like I said, it's beautiful regardless. And that was, like I said, it's the whole point of making this video, just to have some fun. But this is like this formula of these blushes are something that I honestly can say that I have never, like, the quality is superb. It beats every single blush that is honestly in my makeup collection. It's just such a unique formula, and no matter what people say about, you know, that these blushes are $38, which I forgot to include, but they, in my personal opinion, they are worth the price tag because they perform beautifully. They have so many unique shades to choose from, and me personally, I love all three of the ones that I picked up today. And yeah, it definitely is, you definitely are able to tone it down a lot once you use a beauty sponge. And like, you know what I can do also? I'm just gonna take a little bit of my powder. Let's just take a little bit of powder, and let's just apply this like right off that. Just like dab a little bit over the top to see if we can make this a little bit more wearable. I know, yeah. See the difference? Like, you can definitely do that. And I think that's one of the tips that I learned on YouTube from a fellow YouTuber, that if you ever apply way too much blush, take a little bit of translucent powder and just tap it right over the top, because you can already tell that definitely has dimmed it down quite a lot. But even though it's still pigmented, definitely looks a lot more wearable now. Okay, I hope you guys enjoyed my review of the brand new blush shades from Patrick Ta. I love all these very, very much, but truthfully, the standout in this whole entire video, the one that I love the most, definitely was She's Seductive, because I feel like it's just a beautiful everyday tone, and I feel like this one complemented my skin tone the best. I just love how it looks. I know I'm going to get a lot of use out of this. But for the other two, this one and She Goes to the Gym, this one is also very beautiful. Definitely a lot deeper than She's Seductive, but like I said, definitely just a gorgeous shade as well. And for the shade She Left Me on Red, even though this one looks intimidating in the pan, like I said, even though I definitely did apply way too much, you can for sure make it work. Just take a little bit of a lighter hand, and like I said, it will not look this red. It definitely pulls a lot more pink depending on your skin tone, but I love this one as well. These are very gorgeous shades, and like I said, highly recommend you guys checking out his formula. If you have not checked out Patrick Ta blushes, do yourself a favor, pick one of these shades up, or all three or all four, whatever you like, but do yourself a favor and definitely check these out, because you will not be disappointed. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you are all doing well. Once again, thank you all for the love and support. I love you guys very, very much, and I will have some more videos coming up very soon. Love you.